Bright afternoon, everyone. Today we will going to discuss global citizenship. So, what is citizenship? Citizenship is how residents live in a particular area with previous agreed rights and responsibility. So, in short, citizenship refers kung paano ang mga tao gapuyo sa specific community o gapalo sila sa mga rights, laws, and responsibility. For example, ang mga tao diri sa Pilipinas or ang mga tao nga diri nagpuyo sa Pilipinas ga-follow sila sa national laws, gabayad sila og taxes, and ga-participate sila in community activities like election voting. So next we have rights. So, rights is any lawful, social, or moral principle of autonomy or entitlement. It is a collection of what is allowed and what should be provided to a group of people based on a particular legal system, norms, or ethical standard. So, it means that rights mao ni siya ang mga batas like lawful, social, or moral principle nga ga-allow sa mga tao to act freely or receive a certain protection. They describe with individuals are entitled to based on the laws, customs, and or ethical rules. For example, the student has the right to education, or the child has the right to education. So next we have duty. So duty comes from the French word due, which means to owe. Therefore, it is any obligation or expectation to perform an action based on the law, social norms, or moral standard. So this means that ang duty, obligation ni siya og responsibility sa usa ka tawo. Like obligation nila sa batas nga dapat i-follow ni nila. Obligation nila sa society, mga rules sa society, mga obligation nila as a moral person or how they treat other people. So, in short, it is a duty for citizens to obey the traffic rules to keep communities safe. And we have global citizenship. So, global citizenship is the belief that all people have the right to a civic responsibilities based on the reasons that they reside in the world. In short, or it means that global citizenship understanding the people are part of a wider community, not just in their country, but they participate in or around the world. That's global citizenship. Next, we have the rights and duties. So there are three types of rights and duties: the civil rights, political rights, and social rights. So first, we have the civil rights. Are entitlements provided by a certain locality to its public constituents. This includes the right to free speech. Every citizen is allowed to communicate openly. A citizen is permitted to voice opinion even if it is criticizing the government, just as long as it has basis and evidence. It also includes the right to have and be treated with dignity. So, civil rights are entitlement given to an individual by their community or locality. Or, mao ni siya ang mga rights sa individual person. So, this right protects persons' freedom and ensures fair treatment. They include the rights to free speech, freedom from discrimination, and the right to be treated with dignity and respect. So, next we have the political rights. So, political rights are administrative entitlements provided by a specific government. This includes the right to run for office. Every citizen has the right to be elected as a representative of his or her community as long as the person meets various criteria. So, political rights are rights given by the government or mao ni siya ang mga rights nga gihatag sa government nga gina-allow ang mga citizens or mga tawo to participate in the political process. These rights helps people influence how their country is run. Political rights, this includes the right to vote, the right to run public office, and the right to join political groups. For example, in our country, in the Philippines, so a qualified citizens who meets the age and residency requires to run a position like barangay captain sa ilahang election sa ilahang barangay.
Number 3. Social rights. Social rights are entitlements related to public services and to social protection. This include insurance, healthcare, welfare, housing, and pension. Now let's move forward to the three types of duties. We have the conscription, taxation, and participation. Conscription. It pertains to obligation to register as a reserve force in the army. This means that every able-bodied citizen is asked to take up arms and fight for the country in case of war.
Next, we have the taxation. Taxation relates to the duty to pay a compulsory contribution to a state or the government. Taxation is the duty of the citizens to pay taxes, a mandatory contribution to the government. Taxes are used to fund public services and projects that benefit everyone. And next, we have participation. Refers to the responsibility of citizens to take part in activities that help their community or country. It means being involved, contributing, and playing an active role in society.
So for the continuation of our discussion, let's dig deeper about the global citizenship. So what is global citizenship? So global citizenship is the concept that emphasizes the social, political, environmental, and economic responsibilities of individuals and communities in a global scale. So it acknowledges our shared human experience and interdependence, suggesting that our well being is interconnected regardless of where we came from. So, global citizenship recognizes that their civic duties stand beyond local communities to encompass the entire planet, advocating for a more peaceful, sustainable, and equitable world. So, this perspective encourages individuals to address global challenges through a collaborative and informed approach. So there are three categories of the global citizenship. First is the open global citizenship. Open global citizenships refer to the mindset and practice of recognizing oneself as a part of a broader global community, embracing shared responsibilities for humanity and the planet, and actively contributing to social, environmental, and economic justice. So, open global citizenship goes beyond legal citizenship tied to a nation. So, it emphasizes awareness, values, and actions that connect individuals to global issues and communities regardless of their nationality. So, the travel and history or social status. So, global citizenships actively seek to understand how local and global systems are interconnected, recognize diversity, and contribute two solutions for challenges like climate change, inequality, and human rights.
Now, let's discuss the global citizenship. Moral global citizenship focuses on the ethical aspect of global citizenship. What are the moral facet of global rights and responsibilities? Moral global citizenship put emphasis on human rights, equality, and global responsibility. So, moral global citizenship focuses on the ethics, values, and what is right and just at a global level. So, global citizenship is about understanding that every person, regardless of the nationality, race, culture, gender, or social status, deserves equal dignity and respect. It deals with the moral principle that guides how individuals should behave in a globalized world. So, in the moral naman niya is facet of global rights and responsibility naman is it includes the human rights. So in human rights, every person has the right to life, freedom, safety, and equal treatment. And then in sa moral is a moral global citizen opposes all forms of discrimination, violence, oppression, and or exploitation. So in the equality naman is moral global citizenship promotes fairness across cultures and nation. So it recognizes the issue like gender inequality, racism, and poverty as moral problems that the world must address together. So, and in the global responsibility, individual and nation have duties beyond their own borders. So, example, protecting the environment for the future generation, supporting victims of war or disaster, or respecting different cultures. So, in short naman niya is moral global citizenship is about doing what is right for all the humanity, not just what the benefit on one's own or country. So, let's move to the socio-political global citizenship. So, socio-political global citizenship emphasizes the social and governmental system and structure around the world. It advocates to shape existing political power in order to advance global equality. So, here naman sa socio-political global citizenship, it focuses naman niya is sa global system, political structure, and power relation. So, socio-political citizenship looks at how the world's political and social system shape global inequality and injustice. So, it is not just about personal values, but about understanding and improving the system that governs people's lives. So, here sa global social system is ga-include ang mga education, healthcare, economics, and media. Socio-political global citizenship encourage people to understand how this system create advantages for some and disadvantages for others. In the sa mga political structure naman is power is not evenly distributed among countries. Wealthier nation often influences world decision more. Socio-political global citizenship calls for a shift in power, so all nations, especially developing ones, have fair representation. It encouraged the active participation movement like mga climate justice, fair trade, human rights protection, anti-corruption, or peace building, so that Individuals are urged to be political aware and socially engaged, not passive. So, the main focus of the socio-political global citizenship, it aims to reform global political and social system to create a more equal, fair, and democratic world.
Why global citizenship? An important principle in education for people to learn to live together. In fact, it is crucial in the rapid changing world, where the population becomes more and more diverse. It is integral for educators to promote the culture of peace, nonviolence, tolerance, and respect. Learning to live together entails understanding different nation interconnectedness and interdependence. It requires strategies for diplomatic coexistence and compromise. Global citizenship education provides a new lens for the youth to think critically, cast aside hatred, and have the capacity for dialogue and tolerance. The task of global citizenship education is not just to teach about current system, but also concept of global justice and basic rights. Global citizenship education imparts knowledge about the rights of every individuals in the international community. One of these basic rights is that every human being has the right to live in dignity. Global citizen education assists in restoring the positive identity, dignity, and self-esteem of individuals.
So let's discuss why global citizenship. In 2015, the United Nations Summit Declaration Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development named Global Citizenship Education as one of the strategies in the Sustainable Development Goals. So in the first slide, it says that 2025, the United Nations are included in citizenship for the education in 2030. It's agenda for sustainable development. This means that UN believes that the students should learn how to understand global issues, respect others, cultures, and help create the more sustainable world. For example, school teaches students about climate change, recycling, and other and how their actions affect in their countries. This helps become a responsible global citizenship. For the next slide, the UN Secretary General report in 2015 urged that educators to utilize global citizenship education to promote peace around the world. As one can see, global citizenship is highly supported by international organization worldwide declaration. So it explains that the UN Secretary General encouraged teachers to use global citizenship education to promote world peace. This shows that global citizenship is strongly supported by international groups because it helps to create understanding and cooperation among different countries. For example, students join international online projects where they talk with the students from the other countries to share ideas and learn about each other cultures. This respects and reduces the misunderstanding. That's all. Thank you.